What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate y'all taking time to watch this video. I guess you could probably already tell by the title. Um, yeah, I won the biggest tournament, I guess, of my career, I would say, fishing career. Um, Man, what a special tournament. I was able to win the first ever Virginia Elite 70 Alpha Series tournament, which is a new trail that just started this year here in Virginia. Got a lot of regional hammers in it from, man, I think it was Pennsylvania to South Carolina. We got guys fishing these tournaments. Big money, single day event. As you can see by the check behind me, I was able to win $12,000 Saturday. Old school fishing a spinnerbait. Um, Man, the way I love to fish, and it's just funny how I've already done a video on this channel about spinnerbaits this year, and here I am winning the biggest tournament of my life on a spinnerbait. It's kind of ironic, but yeah, I'm going to take you guys through it, the whole 9 yards. I guess show you or tell you, take you step by step how it went down. What I caught, how I caught them, what I was doing. Kind of made some changes early morning to my game plan, and ran some of my plan B stuff, and was able to pretty much crush them. Yeah, I ended up with 20.34 pounds, and I ended up with big fish from this plaque. As you can see, I had big fish, which is 561 on BUGGS Island, which is pretty good fish. So yeah, I'm gonna take you guys through it. Appreciate y'all taking some time to check this out. All right, so as far as practice, so with the Elite 70 Alpha, it's similar, just like our team events, in that the body of water is off limits for the week leading up to the tournament, except for Friday. So the Friday before the tournament, we're allowed to practice. Everyone gets essentially 1 day of practice on Friday for the event, and then Saturday is the event. So the lead up to this BUGGS Island event was good weather throughout the week, pre-spawn event. Coming into it, I knew the fish were going to be shallow, which, or I was hoping the fish were going to be shallow. We were looking at the weather. We knew it was going to change drastically on tournament day. We were going to get a colder, heavy rain the whole day of the tournament. But going into practice day, we had pretty good weather, and the fish were biting. They were up shallow. It was actually comical how many bass were biting up shallow. It scared me a little bit because they were biting too good. I mean, it was everywhere I ran. So in practice, I fished from Okinichi, the boat ramp in Clarksville, to, I didn't go super far down lake just because I knew there was another tournament going on out of the lower end of the lake. And I knew some guys were going to be down there, and I knew I didn't really want to mess with the clear water that was going to be at the lower end of the lake. I wanted to fish that midsection of the lake where the watercolor was truly dirty. I wouldn't stain ain't even the name for it. It was pretty dirty. But they were biting, and I had a primary section from, I don't know, I would say, I was fishing a lot of main lake, smaller pockets. I wasn't fishing huge creek arms. I was trying to stay out of those because I knew they would see tons of pressure. But I had a few fallbacks creek arms that I was fishing. But for the most part, I was trying to stay not far off the main section of the lake, which is almost kind of like a river if you're up on that upper end. But somewhere between, let's just say, Grassy to Rudd's or Rushing Creek area is kind of the section of the lake that I concentrated on. Island Creek, some of those areas. And in practice, everywhere I dropped the trolling motor, I got bit. And so did pretty much everyone else I know. I stayed in the house with some guys. Everybody was whacking them in practice. So I knew the Friday before the event that everyone was going to be on them. I was going to need to catch them, but I knew the conditions were going to change. So with that in mind, I was third think I was about 54 or something. I knew I wasn't going to get first shot at probably anything I really wanted to fish, but I went down the lake. There was a few main lake pockets that I wanted to fish early on, and I was actually able to get on those pretty quick. I ran 2 pockets early with a spinnerbait the morning of the tournament because we knew that it was going to be torrential rain, and I had really the day before at practice I'd gotten a lot of bites, but I tried not to throw the spinnerbait around a lot, knowing that I was going to need it the day of the tournament with the rain. So I was throwing other stuff to find them, swimming a jig, throwing a square bill, you know, throwing a couple different crankbaits, to be honest. But I knew in the back of my head with the weather conditions and it being BUGGS Island that I was going to need the spinnerbait on the day of the tournament. So I really didn't throw it in practice a lot in a lot of the areas because I knew I wanted this to be get my first shot at them on tournament day. So with that being said, I got to a couple of my main lake pockets. I ran one that I thought was going to be my best one, no bites in it. That took about 15-20 minutes to blow through it. Second pocket I pulled in, I actually caught 4 out of. I caught 2 small spotted bass that didn't even keep, and 2 small keepers. And I just got the vibe on that side of the lake that they weren't biting, because yesterday or the day prior to the tournament, I was peaking out water temps at the end of the day on that side of the lake between 57 and 59 in some of those pockets I was fishing. Well, that morning when I was fishing the tournament, then when I dropped trolling motor, I mean, it was 54, 53, 54, 55, and some of those little small pockets off the main that I was fishing. And I knew that we had a cold rain and something had happened with that water. And I just didn't like it. So 2 small fish in the well. I thought, well, let me run to the bottom side of the lake, or the south side of the lake, and just try some of my plan B stuff. Some stuff I had pulled into a pocket late in the day on Friday and got a few bites up shallow, swimming a jig in a pretty big pocket. It had a few depressions and few docks in it, which is kind of rare for BUGGS these days. And I thought, well, let me run over there real quick while I'm close, because I had planned to run a little further down the lake. And I ran into that pocket and dropped the trolling motor, and sure enough, the water temp was warmer. It was 57.5, almost 58 degrees. And I don't know what happened overnight, but somehow all of my warm water had disappeared on one side of the lake and was deposited on the other. And we had a lot of rain leading up to the event, so there was a lot of trash blown into this pocket and stuff. But I was encouraged because I knew the water was warmer, and it felt, I don't know, it felt right. And I didn't go further than 15 yards, and a 561 ate it right at the boat. Literally, as I was pulling the spinnerbait out of the water, it absolutely engulfed it right at the boat. Luckily for me, I did not pull it away from it, and I was able to catch that fish. And so I felt good. I was like, all right, warmer water, got bit immediately as soon as I got over here, big one. But now I got 3. So I followed the same line I'd fished the day before with a swim jig, and went back, and it basically was a couple of debris blown pockets with some floating docks and some bushes. And I ran that line back, and I ended up catching a 4-pounder another 25 yards away from where I caught the first good one. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, now I got 4. I got 2 pretty good ones, 2 that I'd be happy to weigh in at BUGGS. And I'm thinking, all right, well, let me sit down and retie. So I sit down and retie in the absolute dumping rain, stand back up, no sooner make a cast across the pocket to the next bush, boom, catch another 2-something. And I'm thinking, well, now I got 5. Here we are, I made the right call. So I fished down back, fish all the way back through that pocket. I think I did catch another fish that called one of my small ones from the first pocket. And I just felt like that was a good stretch, but I didn't want to die there, right? I felt like I made a good decision, but I needed to keep making good decisions. So me realizing that the water temp, I felt like in my good sections, my plan coming into that was to fish these little main lake pockets, and I felt like they were too cold on that side of the lake. And where I went in my plan B stuff, it was warmer and I catch them. So I'm thinking in my head, like, where can I go? Where can I go? So I've got some old historic stuff that I've fished for years in Panhandle Creek. So I thought, well, maybe the water, temperature is going to be more stable in Panhandle. So I ran up to Panhandle, and there was several boats already fishing there. It's a popular creek, but I was able to fish one of the banks I wanted to fish. I knew it had some of the right stuff on it. Pulled in there, drop trolling motor, probably didn't go 50, 75 yards maybe. Got to a little piece of wood, blown in there with the wind, pouring down rain. Solid 3.5 plus pounder, absolutely smoked it up there on the bank. So boom, now I got 3 good bites. And I'm thinking, man, this could happen, and this is, I don't know what time this is, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock at this point. Maybe not even that late, honestly. I felt like it was pretty early in the day. Might even have been 9 o'clock. I'm thinking, yeah, this could happen. I bend my spinnerbait back into shape, get her where she needs to be, stand back up, and this is the lead into a pocket. I fish around the pocket, and I'm fishing the bank back out of the pocket. Boom, catch another 3 plus pounder, which is like gold at Kerr on this thing. And I'm thinking, this could happen. This could really happen. And at that point, I had a pretty decent bag. I don't know how much I had. My smallest fish at that point was probably a 2-something. But I felt like, man, like this is another 17-ish pound bag probably, or somewhere in that ballpark. Probably not enough. I'm not weighing these fish. I'm cold beaming them. And I'm catching a lot of fish too, but I'm a lot of 2-pound bucks mixed in between all this. I don't know how many fish I caught during tournament day. I think I probably caught 15 or 20 throughout the day, but I'm just kind of high noting a couple of the big ones, because I went and caught several more fish through Panhandle, and they did not cull for me, and I ended up running back to my plan B stuff where I caught them, the good ones in the beginning, went down through there, caught a couple another young bucks, but nothing that was gonna do it for me. And at this point, it's I bounced around, fished a couple main lake pockets, nothing that culled, just lots of 2-pounders. So I still felt good about my day, but it's about 3 o'clock. I thought, well, let me run back up near the ramp and just fish a couple of these small pockets like I had planned to fish originally, and maybe I can catch one late. And fished one pocket, nothing. Fished the next pocket, pulled in there, motored up to the next pocket, got up, dropped trolling motor, and fished a good left lead in bank that just looked right. Had some timber and stuff on it, and boom, another good one, 4-ish pounder, probably a 4-pounder. Ate it, not far from pulling it out of the water. And that one, when I caught that one, I knew I was skirting 20 pounds. I wasn't weighing them, like I said, but I knew I was near 20 pounds. And I knew if I could catch 20 pounds that I was going to give myself a shot. And checked in, weighed in, and man, the rest is history. So I fished this bait almost the entire day in the pouring down rain, and just because I knew that it was going to be the deal. And I mixed in a chatterbait a little bit. I think caught 1 or 2 fish on chatterbait, nothing that helped. I was square billing a lot too during practice. I think I threw that around just in a couple key rocky areas. Maybe caught 1 fish on it. Didn't help. LPH 2.0, but the spinnerbait, the hog collar 3/4 ounce tandem spinnerbait was the key, with the straight chartreuse skirt, old Kerr staple. 3/4. I was able to wind that thing at the exact speed, which was kind of fast. You'd think the water was somewhat dirty, but there was something about this tandem. I threw the double Colorado and even a single Colorado, and I did not seem to get the right feedback the way this one. I mean, this one was just absolutely automatic. I was blasting them. Every little piece of wind-blown wood in every pocket, I was absolutely murdering them on it. It was incredible. And to win against, you know, a lot of people I consider my friends, people I've looked up to for a long time, a lot of great anglers. It's really cool, man. It's been an emotional week for me. I'm not gonna lie, I cried a couple of times this week. I guess when you work so hard for something, and you finally get it, man, it's a cool feeling. It's a cool feeling, man. And it just feels really awesome to win the very first ever Virginia Elite 70 Alpha tournament, and to get this freaking awesome belt, and for it all to come together and kind of validate, you know, how hard I work at this. It's pretty sweet. And if you're a big bass fisherman, you fish competitively, and you're watching this, I think you know what I mean. When you fish hard and you dedicate a lot of time and effort into this, and it finally happens and you win, man, it feels good. Fuels the fire. Makes me want it that much more. And we've got 2 more of these alpha events left. The next one's on the James River, which I feel pretty good about. Might have a shot at winning that one too. We'll see. And the Potomac River in July. We'll see if I get to make that one. Might have some scheduling conflicts on that one, but man, super thankful for Steve Camp and his crew over at the Virginia Elite 70 for putting these things on, and, you know, putting up with everybody's, the whole staff, and it's man, it's just been, the whole thing's been first class. So, you know, there it is. Virginia Elite 70 Alpha tournament. I won $12,000 for one day of fishing. And here's the actual rod. Won it on a Kistler KLX 7.3 heavy. It's basically a heavy moderate fast. It's got the perfect taper for throwing these big 3/4 ounce spinnerbaits. Kistler Chromium 6.3 to 1, or I'm sorry, 6.6 to 1 bait caster. 20-pound fluorocarbon. Just, you know, how we all want to fish in the spring, right? I mean, this is how you want to fish. Big rod, big line, spinnerbait the whole day for big money. Don't get no better than that. There was no live scope involved. I had it on, but it didn't play a factor at all, and that's kind of refreshing. And after, that's all we see on social media these days is forward-facing sonar. No live scope here. Old school bassing for 12 grand. Yeah, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I wish I was able to have some fish catches. Like I said, torrential rain. I had just fried my last GoPro. Had some issues with that, and that thing went down on me. So this video is being shot off of a brand new GoPro that I got 3 days prior to the tournament last week. So sorry I didn't really get this on video. It would have been epic if I did. Unfortunately, you guys are just getting a recap. But I'm going to be better. Hopefully, if I win the next one, it's going to be on video. And I've got another tournament coming up hopefully this weekend on either the James. I might go to Kerr again or BUGGS Island. I don't know. But we're going to get some video. I'm going to get you guys some video so you can start seeing this. I got to be better about it. But I appreciate all the support. Man, it seems like everybody I know has called and texted me since the tournament, and I appreciate everybody. I think a lot of people realize how hard I work at it, and so when you finish second and third and fourth like I do I feel like the last decade, it feels cool to finally win. It really does. So hopefully this is the start of something cool. Maybe we might get us an AOY this year. Hopefully I have some big fish catches coming your way soon. Appreciate y'all sticking with me.